Coach, what are some of the issues facing y'all in the aftermath of the Bears game as you get ready here for
Yeah.
the regular season finale?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's obviously things that come up every Sunday, and especially when you get a result like you did yesterday, and you come out and you got 3 drives, and you only move the ball for almost 200 yards, you only get 7 points, and they hit a couple plays and put ourselves in a hole, and they stayed in rhythm, they hit plays, they stayed in their play action and keeper game, and we never were able to close the gap, and credit to Chicago, but things that we will certainly get cleaned up, and we get them cleaned up in a hurry because this is a huge game for us Sunday down in New Orleans.
Is Taylor's left ankle okay? Will he be able to start on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously he's going to do everything he can to play. We'll have to monitor that. It was obviously sore last week. That's why he was limited, and then clearly felt good to play. Like a lot of guys, week 18, nobody feels great, and so we'll just have to monitor it. But I know Taylor, he's going to put everything he can into trying to go.
The run defense, just the run defense, they were able to get a couple 34, 38 out late to make the numbers look really bad.
Right.
But, generally, you okay with the run defense going into this last matchup?
Yeah, we've been pretty good most of the year. I mean, yesterday, like I said, and credit to them. They got out to that lead, and they had a nice mix, and that was part of the reason we wanted to get some early momentum. And once they got up, they held the ball for a while and almost a whole quarter, and they did. They popped those runs late. Obviously, they had the play extensions with Fields, and that hurt us on a few passing downs. And credit to them. They end up, we got behind, and you got to go for it on 4th and 17, backed up. Just because there's possessions are limited at that point, and we needed 2 scores, and they made the play, and we didn't.
You say, monitor Taylor, considering the importance of this game, both within the season and maybe even bigger picture than that. How do you balance, maybe in Taylor, who's not 100% with a backup quarterback that has experience that is? Like, how does that balance happen for him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any week, and certainly if somebody at the position is dealing with an injury, I mean, they'll be ready to go, and Dez was ready to go last week if he had to play snap 2. So that's how you do it. I mean, both guys got to prepare to play, and this would be kind of the same thing we did last week.
Well, I guess what I was getting at was more of like when you're putting together the game plan and putting together, because often you've said, hey, Wednesday ends up being such a big deal. Thursday, and it's like, is there a point in the next 48 hours where you kind of have to see, is there a realistic chance for his ankle? Does that?
No, I know what you're saying. I mean, last week, as it went on, I mean, he was limited, and there were certain things he was limited doing, and that you kind of alter your game plan for anyway. So that was the case last week. There's certain things we didn't ask Taylor to do. I mean, ironically, he was able to get out on a couple of scrambles and made him pay, but some of the other things that didn't feel great about doing some of the actions, and so we kind of had 2 plans in there anyways because of that, and that'll be kind of the approach this week.
Is this something that you might go all the way up to Sunday situation, or you have?
Yeah, I think especially get into Thursday, talking to him now and talking to the trainers, anticipate him being out there in a similar role like he was last week, and just probably have a good idea by Friday for sure.
Yeah. Do you sit there, I mean, just for yourself, do you sit there and it seems like every time that you make a change at quarterback, something happens and you're back in the same world of questions?
No, I mean, look, I understand that, and it's like a lot of things in life, what you can't control, and how you react to things, and having plans is part of your job, and obviously when you're doing that position, that's why you always got to make sure everybody's ready to go, because it's real. If the guys that aren't ready to go, that they haven't prepared the way, that's what I have appreciated about Dez. I mean, obviously, and Taylor in the other role, both of them been ready to go every week, and so has Logan. So that's what made working with those guys been fun all year.
Because you couldn't, I mean, you had a lot of self-inflicted wounds early. You know, you had you're moving the ball down the field, you get the fumble by Bijan that sets you back, you miss the field goal, and you miss the field goal again. Like, was it hard to feel like you were ever really establishing momentum yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's a good question because anytime you're on the road, and obviously part of our strategy was try to get out there because going to those games, what's ironic is like those games is actually easier to pass because if you really look at both lines of scrimmage, they both felt sluggish, different than when you're in the wind that some of the stuff you're dealing with in Carolina with the ball. That's tougher conditions to throw. Yesterday's actually pretty easy conditions to throw. Again, I don't want to speak for Chicago, but I imagine that's helped them a little bit too. I mean, just if you really look at the lines of scrimmage, the footing wasn't great into the rush, and so both teams were pretty aggressive, pushing. They clearly hit theirs. We didn't hit all our shots. But yeah, anytime you have those possessions and you get in the scoring range, and like I said, you get 3 possessions, move the ball, and you only come away with 7 points. Obviously, you want 21, but if you got 13, at least that's the way it goes. And against a team like Chicago, that was their MO. They do a great job. When they get the lead, they can grind you down because they have multiple ways to run it. Some of them aren't even design runs. That's one of the strengths of Fields. And he's made people pay all year. We had him down a couple times, and he gets out of it and he can convert third downs.
So many other things happened yesterday, but you did have this weird challenge, and then you lost the timeout, and you got the timeout.
No, I was pretty confident in the challenge.
What happened there? Because, I mean, it seemed like you won the challenge and lost the challenge. It seemed like there was confusion, at least up in the press box. I don't know if it was.
Sure. I mean, I just, where it was, where the field, what you're allowed to challenge is the line to gain. And then they moved it back, and then the question was whether it was going to be in a short yardage situation or not. And so when they moved it back, I was like, that's when you're saying technically, you win the challenge. And so obviously it sorted itself out. I didn't know they would come back to me. I was pretty confident in it, and thankfully.
They did take the time. Obviously, it did not really mattering in the couch myself, but they did take the time out and then gave it back to you. And I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I can't say I have either. You guys have covered a lot. I mean, just like I said, I was confident. Like I wouldn't have thrown it. Like if I didn't. I mean, you're never going to be perfect, but it's pretty clear that it wasn't where they spotted the ball. Wasn't where, the guy had gone out of bounds before that. And so that's a lot of challenge that whether he got through the line of gain or not. So that's why I did it.
After the second quarter ended, you were talking to some officials at halftime. What was the?
I was just seeing, are they going to review if D was down by contact?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. Like, I just wanted to make sure because it was such a crazy play.
Yeah.
You talk about things that you see something unique every week in this league, but God, I think D ran about 130 yards. And so it's, that play unfolded. I was just saying that he tripped because Nate Landman picked him back up. Nate had a pretty heads-up play. And then I just asked him, hey, if they looked at it, because it's under 2 minutes.
Sure.
I said, did you see, is he down by contact? Because that's what they ruled. And we finished it in the end zone. And so you go back and look at it, it's crazy. Is Tanyan, their tight end, I mean, I think he hit the towel. He never, you're talking about a game of inches. I mean, D trips, the momentum takes him over, but he did. It's like he barely hit his towel. It was the only thing that was touched. One of the crazier plays I've seen.
Any other injury news? I know Drew missed some snaps toward the end, and I didn't even realize that Lindstrom and Matthews missed 2 snaps.
No, I just took him out.
That just at the end. Okay.
Yeah, I just took them out. But yeah, Drew got seen with his ankle. And a couple of the guys, working through a couple things, and as we get through, not everybody's been completely checked out yet. But as we get to Wednesday, we'll see. There'll be a few guys questionable for sure.
Arthur, between the Tampa game and this one, and I know you didn't know the outcome of what was going on in New Orleans while it was happening, but, it just feels like another missed opportunity. The players sensing, that same frustration of another missed opportunity by the team?
I think when, you lose games, like I said, I mean, we've lost some close games, and most games are close in this league, and Certainly you've had chances. I think everybody gets frustrated, right after. I mean, you put a lot into it, but does it break anybody's spirit here? No. I mean, that's what we've proven over and over again, that we've done this to ourselves. It's nobody's fault but your own, and you got to start with me as it should. But that's what gives you a lot of confidence. All right, nobody liked what happened yesterday. We got life. However crazy it played out, that is what the situation is. And obviously, it's anytime we play New Orleans, it's a big deal. And certainly, this game's got a lot on the line, and I know there's some of it's out of our control. But again, that's our own doing, right? To not control your own. But we got to get ready to go and put everything we got and go beat New Orleans.
There are conversations popping up again about your future. Have you had conversations with Arthur Blank about that? I mean, do you have any sense of?
Everything that we've done since I've been here has been the same routine the whole time. Mike, I've gone on many times about you work in pro football, you know the market you're in, you know the industry you're in. If you don't like it, you're looking for comfort, go do something else. Very confident and grateful. This is what I love to do. But there's going to be that like I said, you're not looking for comfort when you take these jobs, and if you are, you're delusional.
Did you meet today? Usually
We talk a lot all the time. You're talking about old narratives. We talk all the time. I know that there's things that you used to do, and we talk after every game, and nothing has changed in that regard.
Has he given you any indication about next season?
We always talk about a lot of things. There's nobody has a State of the Union every Monday, and I appreciate the questions. I mean, this is the situation you're in, and it's a natural cycle of the NFL. But all our focus is on New Orleans.
Anything else?
Yeah, Coach. Did you have to? Well, I know. Yeah. Just injury, the eligibility reporting for Nigel when he goes in at tight end. That's a big issue around the league right now.
Yeah.
All-state tight end.
You got me to smile. You need to watch his high school highlights.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, I gotta get you the huddle thing. It's same body type, but at 230.
230.
Some guys you see them, they're kind of skinny, they're tight ends, they grow into a body. Newsom's been the same. Yeah, whatever you want to call that body type. I mean, every team has guys report like that. I'm not going to comment on that, but.
Did you go through it with Nigel again on Sunday and be like, hey,
News?
I did it again.
I know.
Come on here. Did you go through that again where it's like you have to do this and be very crystal clear? Because it seemed like the official was being maybe more clear when Chicago was reporting than I think I've ever seen it. I think he said it like 5 times.
Well, sure. Anytime I think there's a topic going out there, it's like everybody that's involved in the game, but that's a pretty common play. Most teams use it. You're limited on the roster size. If teams don't carry, heavy tight ends, and they usually go to an offensive lineman. I mean, I think that's one position that's somewhat evolving. There's very few of those. Mark Bruner's, Klein Saucer, guy, Craig Stevens, the big wide tight ends. They're hard to find these days. You just don't see it a lot. And so a lot of teams use a jumbo. So I think it's probably become more common to use jumbo. I mean, the play they ran, we scored with Lawan, I believe, in 2016 against Indy on the exact same thing. Put Dennis Kelly in. He's been the jumbo tight end. Buffalo, I know, has done it a bunch. I've seen their big guy touchdowns. I think we tried it. I know we did. We tried to get Jake Matthews a touchdown our first year here. Same type thing. And so that's nothing new. But I'm not going to comment on what I thought. That's not like a unusual play. You can go back and you can look at all those. Yeah. No, sure. It's out there now. No, I know that.
You mentioned, kind of bigger body guys. Kind of went under the radar. You elevated Tucker Fisk a couple times, and then signed him at 53. What did he do to kind of put himself in that position?
Well, when he had the opportunity, you had some injuries, and he has an opportunity. A guy that's developed here. He's a unique player because he can legitimately play on the line, but he's also He's a very unusual athlete because usually that body type and the way he can get out and run is different. He's got balance to legitimately get out in front of some things when you're using the fullback, and he's a physical player. So just a guy that excited about having in the program. It's unfortunate that Keith got injured, but he's taking advantage of his opportunity in that role.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.